Nightwing issue 36. Sam Humphries writing and Bernard Chang on art. So this is the second issue of the run, and once again we are back to building up the Judge as a very formidable foe for the old Dick, the Dick off the old block, if you want to call him that. So this issue, obviously Dick has to deal with the fact that he got shot at the end of the last issue, and he actually activates the defibrillator in his suit, which makes
That's
Alfred
so cool.
call. He's like, "Hey, Master Dick, you, you." He says Master Richard, obviously, because he's Alfred. But
Right.
yeah, Master Dick. I think that sounds pretty cool. So he's like, "Hey, do you need any help? You know, you okay? You know, activate your defibrillator. You know, it seems like that's the sort of thing you might need a hand. Might need some help." He's like, "No, Alfred, I got this." So we get Dick for the rest of the issue with like half his like arm ripped off, like the suit, and he's like got a bandage like round it. So he's kind of like battle torn Dick for the rest of it.
Battle damage. That would be the action figure.
Battle damage.
Battle
Dick.
damage. Yeah.
So throughout the issue, Dick's trying to track down the Judge, and he finds more and more body. He goes to the church where he was at, and one of the monks or whatever have killed everyone else. And like Dick's like the body count is racking up, and he's like really starting to blame himself for it. Meanwhile, I'd argue that sort of the more main plot element of the book is actually the Judge himself at the mayor's office.
Yeah, getting the Judge's backstory almost is what a lot of this stuff is.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say less backstory and more just like immediate, like why he's here in the city kind of thing, because he's with the Judge, and
Cleansing.
he's like, Dick's finding it. Oh, he got to this limo driver who does like has a account with the city, with the government, the office, and that leads the Judge to the manager who works in the building, which leads him to the mayor himself. And he's like, yeah, you already confessed to all this because you've been stealing. The casinos were given all this money and all these permits because they were supposed to be funneling back money into the education system, but they've been kind of cooking the books to make sure that never happens. The mayor was in on it, but now the mayor feels trapped by all these lies and he wants to try and put an end to it. But the casinos are basically threatening him. He's like just scared for his life, and it all sort of boils over. And the Judge is just basically slowly poking at him. To eventually make him commit suicide, because we find Dick finds the woman who works for him on the roof going to kill herself, saves her, and she mentions she heard a shot, and then Dick goes to find him and he's like lying at his desk with the gun there and the blood all over the place, and it's like the Judge is here to stay. Like he's not just here to cause some trouble and leave. He's setting up the status quo that he wants in the city.
This, if Humphries plays this right, this could become like Dick Grayson's greatest villain. Because when you think, I don't think he really has too many. Like I thought it was Blockbuster because I'm not too familiar with the Dixon run, but I know Blockbuster was pretty heavy on there.
Yeah, he's in there, but I don't think people look at Blockbuster and go, "Oh, that's the arch nemesis. That's the one that we love."
I think it's one of those where some heroes don't really have a villain, and some of them don't necessarily need one.
Well, Joe, I think it is. I think it's because with someone like Nightwing, who's a legacy character, that when you want to ramp up the stakes, you make him face someone that like Batman had to take down once. So when Joker comes to Bloodhaven, it feels like a big deal. Dick has to deal with him on his own. Like that feels big.
And honestly, I think the difference as well, where someone like Batman has all these villains because often Batman is played so straight and almost has a zero personality, whereas Dick's always got a charm, he's got charisma, so you don't need as strong a villain to play off of.
No, but that's what makes it stick out, though, is the way that Humphries is writing this character, like it plays so well off of Dick's personality.
Yeah.
This is a guy that to himself is cleaning up Bloodhaven, but by doing it, he's coming into opposition with Dick, who is too cleaning up Bloodhaven in his own way, So
yeah, but that's not gloss over the fact that
dichotomy.
the Judge is not just that he's cleaning the place up. He is a sadistic asshole who is killing people to do it.
Yeah.
He's clearly getting off on the power and the killing.
Let's not brush over the fact that he is clearly crazy because he left his cocktail behind.
Oh, it was empty. That's one of the ones. So, as someone familiar with the tiki culture, that you hollow out a pineapple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he drank that, and that's a blue Hawaii, blue curacao, and I think vodka. But yeah,
How do you know it's empty and he's not just left it there?
Because nobody leaves a full blue Hawaii.
No, they don't. You're right. No one should do that. No. But that's my point. I think I don't trust this guy.
So is that how the Judge is going to get to you, Connor? He's going to show up with a half-drank tiki drink and a gold coin.
This is the
Going-
most
I'm down for
stupid,
trying.
inane conversation I think you two have ever had on this show.
I'm just saying.
It looked good, is
But-
all I'm saying.
Maybe I'll send you the recipe. You can make yourself one.
Which, by the way,
Appreciate
having the mayor just taking lines of cocaine, I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
more adult than I was expecting in my Dick Racing comic.
I remember during man, what was this? Was it Countdown? Yeah, where you had the Trickster and what was it the Pied Piper? They were handcuffed together, right? But before all of that, they're hanging out with the Rogues and Mirror Master's doing coke off of one of his own mirrors. And I remember thinking, I was like, damn, I can't believe they're letting him do it. And now I'm just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Mayor, Crooked City.
Yeah, no, you're right. I didn't even register as well. I'm like, okay, corrupt.
Oh,
man,
no,
of course
it
it's gonna
fits.
count.
Like it didn't feel out of place in the plot sense. It was just kind of like,
No.
wait a minute, are we actually doing this in a Nightwing comic? Like,
Yeah,
I-
that's my thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's the thing, because it's just that's so what I expect of the stereotype of that character.
Yeah.
That I didn't even register that that it's weird.
Whereas Mirror Master doing it felt so out of place just because it's like, yeah, he's a rogue, but he's not a drug addict. Like,
yeah, because the
You know?
rogues feel goofier, whereas this guy's clearly meant to be like an
Yeah.
archetype of this, stressed out, corrupt
yeah, but
guy.
I still feel it's weird to see that type of drug use in a comic.
It
You know
is.
what I mean? Like,
It's just kind of strange.
and I'm
'Cause
such from the early 2000s where it's weird to see characters smoke, and you see that more and more now with characters than.
I think it's really funny that TV went in the opposite direction, where
Yeah.
now it's like no smoking.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's no, it's fair because even when you have like Roy with his addiction problems, whenever that's
Yeah.
shown, you never necessarily just see like needles like hanging out of his arm and like.
No.
it's
So for that
like-
cover, like
Yeah.
that one Hard Travel Heroes cover, he was full in.
yeah.
You know.
Oh, I would say it's not common anyway. They tend to avoid it, so it was just kind of weird to see it quite clearly.
It
That's
was.
what he was doing. So I like to
Yeah.
point it out. But no, it's a brutal issue, and it sets him up as this really imposing threat, this presence, this dominant force.
Oh.
He's the anti-MCU villain, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
In 2 issues, he's already.
Unnecessary shots fired, but cool.
Oh come on, they have useless villains in those movies.
So is he the tree? Does he worship the tree? Like, what's going on with the tree?
I think that was
Yeah,
just
I always forget that.
a poetic thing at the end where he's standing in front of the justice tree, but he's corrupting it. He's taking over the city. So I think it was just like
Yeah.
a.
Okay.
I think he's looking up to it because he's up there standing. He's small in front of it. He's just a judge, but this is justice itself.
Oh sure, yeah.
And
yeah,
it's
and,
like,
and
the
he's
idea-
corrupting. Okay, that makes sense. So I was like, wait, is he a manifestation of the tree that's gone wrong?
No.
Is this where we're going? Like,
Matt,
It's just
sometimes
Well,
sometimes
Matt,
your
the-
mind
the cra-
goes
the
places.
crazy colors are just the drug-induced stuff.
gotcha.
Don't worry about it.
Oh dear.
Gotcha. So I'm just reading it. And I'm like, that's cool. That's cool. Like, oh, I'll get down with that. Like, we have a plant lady running around Gotham. It's fine. Like, it's not a leap to take, but I like that. I like that read that he's looking up at justice, and yes, he's feeling justice, but he's doing
In his
it in a
own,
corrupt way.
yeah, his
Yeah.
weird, dark, corrupt
Yeah.
way, and
I
yeah,
like that. God damn it, Humphries, that's smart.
And
So-
do you know what I wasn't expecting from this issue? The continuation of the Guppy stuff.
yeah. And
Oh,
oddly,
God, that stuff too.
I'm into it as well, which I'm really surprised because you see he's helped these guys like steal something from the water, and they cut him out and push him in the water like proper bullies, call him names, and then he goes home and you find that he's got like a sick dad who's like dying and he's up to like medical
Yeah.
equipment and he's like, I'm sorry dad, I'll get you meds tomorrow, I'll try, I promise. And I'm like, oh man, this is hitting me in the heart.
I really hope he joins the runoffs as a group. Just
Yeah.
in the group. Speaking of, I hope the runoffs aren't just forgotten because obviously there's been no mention.
I don't
of
think
them
they will.
yet.
I think Humphries is coming in. He's gonna make his own.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
his
Do your
art
own thing. Start
Yeah.
on that.
I
and
can
go
see
back,
it
but
being-
just don't ignore them.
I can see it being left to the second arc, or maybe like a climactic issue where he needs help and they'll pop up. But
Yeah.
I think he wants to do his own thing first completely, where it's...
I get that, but I feel like there would have been real impact in turning some of them against him in this arc from the judge.
Ooh,
Well, they still
yeah.
meet later. Like,
They might, yeah.
Yeah.
I've just
What was-
that's what I'd do. I know that.
Oh man, what was the girl's name that was going out with Giz? It's
Mouse?
the black girl. Was it Mouse? Yeah,
That was
imagine
Mouse.
him showing up and giving a coin to her, and the thing she wants most is revenge on Nightwing for the death of Giz. Like,
Hmm.
oh man,
Yeah, I feel like the reason why I think we might not see them in this arc is just 'cause I feel like Dick is really alone in this arc, and I feel like at least until you want to have that moment where he decides not to be alone anymore, I think you want to have him just completely isolated.
I agree, and it makes sense. I miss them already.
But no, I
did like having them around.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. This is like, I know a lot of people try to compare Dick Grayson to Daredevil a lot, and that's usually a hollow type comparison, but this is the most it's felt like a Daredevil, like, because it feels grimy and gritty, but not that it's trying to be.
It's so grimy and gritty, but it's still so bright with all the casino lights.
Yeah, it's neon. It's kind of like that that neon demon kind of idea, just to sort of reference that. The idea of like LA is this like there's potential there, but it's also this dangerous place where your life can just get sucked up and thrown out like at any time.
And you're so distracted by the neon, you fall into that hole that was laid out in front of you.
Yeah, it just covers up the problems.
Yeah, so no, I like that. No, solid. I'm 2 issues in. I'm really digging Humphries on Nightwing.
Yeah.
So
yep.
we'll see where it goes next time.